It's time for the Dr. Tongie Show.
Hey, you're on the air with Dr. Tongie. Talk to me.
As soon as I hear your voice, Dr. Tongie, my day is better.
Hey, Dr. Tongie. I took your advice and made some changes in my life. And you know what? I've been winning ever since. Thank you for your advice.
Now, here's Dr. Tongie.
Hey, good afternoon, and welcome to the show that is founded on Kingdom Principles, a show that was developed to inspire you and to motivate you and to get you to move from where you are now to where you want to be in life. On today's show, we've got a spectacular guest that will be calling in really soon. And this woman, I kid you not, is a woman who has taken something that used to be a stigma and is still a stigma today, but we're going to dispel some of the myths that have circulated from generation to generation, and she's doing some wonderful things in the marketplace, and I'm looking forward to her calling in and being a part of this show. And of course, at our 30 after the hour, we have this thing called How Did I Get Here? And that is where we're taking your direct messages and we're answering your questions that maybe you've got some concerns with and feel like we can kind of help you get out of that and get you where you want to be. Okay. And of course we have our wonderful girl, Jeannie Jones.
Meow. That's right. As soon as I hear your voice, Dr. Tongie, yes, everything is better.
She's making my day, guys. Believe me that. And of course, I've got to thank each and every one of you who have joined in today. Thank you so very much. But before all of that greatness comes, I want to continue with what we talked about on last week, which was faith. And that faith is a belief. It is a conviction where you are so stoically standing on something that you believe will come and will happen in your life, that no matter what, you're not giving up. Now, let's see how we can apply that belief. And I wrote a couple of things down for applications here. Now, in faith, you already know that you got to make your mind up. There's no going back and forth when it comes to faith. There's no double-mindedness. There's no, okay, I think I can do it, or, well, what if? You've got to be so thoroughly convinced that what you are believing for will happen. But more important than that, I have learned that my belief cannot just be in Tongie, but it's got to be, for me, it's got to be in God. I have to move from just believing in God, but I got to have the faith of God. And having the faith of Him means that there is absolutely nothing that you cannot do. That's the faith of. And that's where I want you to be right now, because that's very, very important when you're menagering through life and you're trying to figure everything out. Let's just stop trying to figure it out. Let's just go to the author who already knows everything. So with that, you got to be so definitive that no matter what, there's something called noise, and that noise can be created by you. It can be created by what you are allowing to be in your perimeter or to be in your space. That noise sometimes can be a friend who means well, but for all intents and purposes, really don't know the extent of what you may be facing. It could be noise from, what if this doesn't work? That noise has to be silenced. And when you make up your mind that no matter what, I don't care what happens, I don't care what I'm faced with, I don't care what I'm looking at, I do not care. The only thing that I care about is that I do not lose my faith right right here. And that is so important. I cannot stress to you the importance of that, not losing your faith. For me, when I listen to the Word of God, it just doesn't soothe me. It's a reinforcement. It's a kind of a guarantee that if it's written, and in times past people have been able to do extraordinary things by going back to the basics, is what I call it, then the track record speaks for itself. I cannot afford to lose my faith. Not now, not ever. And what I'm learning is my faith is not predicated on what has happened. Now, hear me. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for all of the times that I have had to kind of anchor down and kind of get by myself so I can hear clearly. But I gotta grow up. And that growing up means now I have to juxtapose, if you will, to the power that my God has and not the works that he's done. I'm not discounting the works. I'm merely saying the power, it far encompasses the work. So to anyone, to you who may be listening today, and I don't know what you're going through. I don't know. But the fact that you tuned in today to listen, I want to tell you that everything is well. As a matter of fact, all is well. And that you can, you will, you got to, you must. Because believe it or not, there are times that you're the only example, you're the only Bible, you're the only sermon, you're the only motivating speech that someone will have the opportunity to see, to hear, to touch. So every day of our lives matter. Whatever you do, you cannot quit. You cannot throw in the towel. But I would encourage you to stand. I would encourage you to know that you've got a purpose. You will complete your purpose. You will dream again. And you will live the best life that you know how. And you will not let go of your faith. Not now. Not ever. So, with that being said, I'm going to be looking out and listening for these wonderful stories, these wonderful testimonies that are going to take place even the now that you stood. And even if you had to cry, and even if you had to scream and run and whatever you needed to do to have that release, you do it. But you will not let go of your faith, your conviction, your faith, your belief in something, someone much bigger than yourself. And you got to allow yourself to say, you know what? It's okay. I'll receive exactly what I'm supposed to receive today. And I'm going to keep doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And that, my friend, is how you're going to apply your faith. All right? Very good. Now, without further ado, Miss Jeannie, how are you?
I'm great. I am great. I am motivated. I'm on, the Dr. Tongie show. What else? What else do I need today? With everything else going on in the world.
Oh, yes.
You are that sunshine, and very excited for all the interaction and amazing response you're getting to the show.
Is that right?
Where you're going and where you're taking people with you. I love it. Always interactive at Dr. Tongie Show, and so much coming to you from live content, interactive live sessions, and of course, you can always interact with us. You can do it now as we also coming up. We will be talking about, which is so you brought up at the top, Dr. Tongie,
absolutely,
mental health,
yes,
and just how to identify with it. It's been a taboo, and you don't do, but we're starting to talk about it more, because not only is it affecting people's livelihoods from the streets of Hollywood, as we have seen in the news recently, oftentimes at the White House, and just everywhere, and us not being afraid to call it what it is, and just getting the help that we need. But a lot of times people don't know how to identify with it. Is it covered in my insurance? You still work 40 hours plus and you still use your insurance, is still not enough or not the right thing. Go figure. Right. But we're getting help and we're getting better. And so what I love most about the Dr. Tongie Show is that we provide solutions. Yes. We try to work towards helping you with resources and answers.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And thank you for saying that, Jeannie. And without further ado, we've got the wonderful woman that's on the line. And I will try to surmise this woman by saying that she is a licensed clinical social worker. She has a business that is not only helping people who are dealing with things that are stressing them, but she's giving them applicable solutions to it.
And she certainly is a therapist. And yes, what I love most in this day and time, she has an app, that is helping you where you are, or anybody that's in your family that may need mental help.
Yes, absolutely. And I was getting to that. Thank you so much. But you're right. And without further ado, hello, Miss Alicia. Is it Tete?
It's Tete. Hello.
Tete. Hey, Alicia.
How are you?
Wonderful.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Thanks for joining us on the Dr. Tongie Show. And thank you for all that you are doing.
Yes.
Will you please talk about, why you decided to create this app and how it's being effective in the community?
Absolutely. So I am a huge believer in the power of change, and a believer in just decreasing the stigma around mental health. And so the mobile application Attune really came about because I knew that people were kind of worried about other people knowing and not really feeling like they can access mental health clinicians. And so those are the main two reasons why I decided to create the mobile application, to decrease the stigma and just to increase accessibility.
Wow. Thank you for that. Thank you so much.
Well, a lot of people too, because like I said, they're usually not comfortable in disclosing that. How are you marketing the app so that people are more comfortable doing that? Because I hear you and we understand, but I know that, like I said, your average person who may need help or may not even know how to identify that there is a problem. How is that helping?
So one way is definitely just normalizing it. So getting out there, speaking at conferences, speaking at different community events, and then just sharing my own story around my mental health journey as a therapist and as a new mom and as a new wife. So the biggest push for me right now is normalizing it and letting people know that it's okay. We all need somebody to talk to.
And how did you normalize your journey, if that's correct to say? What was that like?
Yeah.
That you just mentioned, yes.
Yeah. So just letting them know that even though I'm a therapist, I still have the same human experiences as everybody else. And I have been impacted by anxiety in the past. And before I got married, I had to seek my own mental health treatment by way of premarital counseling. And then I often talk to people about how in the past I went to therapy to deal with my own anxiety.
I want to jump in and ask you, Alicia, thank you so very much for what you're doing in the marketplace.
No problem.
I know that you are a woman of faith, And
I am.
How difficult, because I too am a woman of faith. We're women of faith. And oftentimes when you are, very faithful in your faith, you kind of use the scenario, I'll pray about it, or I'll have people to pray for me, and everything's just going to be okay, without actually doing anything, because we do know that prayer is an action word. How difficult is that for you to practice and still be, still concern yourself with being a woman of faith?
So I tell people all the time, faith without works doesn't really work. And so, yes, we have to pray, but also, it's important for us to do our part as well. And then understand that God created therapists, just like he created doctors, just like he created dentists. And so just like if we had a toothache, we would go to the dentist. If we had a broken knee, we would go to the doctor. When we are impacted by different mental health concerns, we should go and see a mental health professional.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So when you're speaking with people about mental health, and of course, you do know the taboo in we mentioned that the taboo in our society, or our community rather.
Right.
What can you say to someone who says, off the cuff, I'm dealing with bipolar, or I'm dealing with schizophrenia, and I don't really want anyone to know? How do we stop the monotony, I guess what I'm asking, of that myth, of that taboo in the community?
I think the biggest thing is just providing that psychoeducation. So one of the things that I charge myself with is getting out in the community for free at least once a month and talking in a variety of settings. And so I'll go to churches, I'll go to the Urban League, just different groups, and I talk about different mental health issues. And I talk about it in a way to make other people comfortable. And I tell them if they want to see a change, we have to open up the conversation and begin to talk about it and ask questions and begin to try to understand. And so that way it won't be such a stigma. It's a stigma right now because we don't want to talk about it because we think that something is wrong. Right. But the more conversations we have and the more that we see that we're not alone, that is us getting free of that taboo and really getting free of that stigma.
Okay, that's good.
And then, Alicia, if I am, just say I'm troubled and I download your Attune, ATTUNE, your app to check references and, the right therapist for me, how do I go about that once you're in the app? How do I know what's going to work for me? Because if you could elaborate on your experiences, I noticed that a lot of times in adulthood, those are things that, have layered from childhood. So in between that situation and then trying to find out what's right for me, can you kind of direct the things that somebody may need to know or reference how to use your app and how you suggest going about what works specifically for how you feel?
Absolutely. So within the app, you can directly message a therapist. And so I always encourage people to ask some general questions up front because you should be allowed to do some type of consult. So figuring out what type of background the therapist has, what they're experienced in, what they're comfortable in. Just like I'm not going to go to a dentist that smokes cigarettes because I don't want cigarette breath all close to me.
Makes sense.
We all have preferences. And so I tell people all the time, you want to ask those general questions. And then in that first session, you want to rate your comfortability. Do you feel comfortable with that therapist? Do you feel safe? It's okay to say after that first session, you know what, I don't think this is going to be a good fit. The therapist should not take it personally. They should want you to be with someone that you're going to be comfortable with because when you're comfortable, you're going to feel okay with opening up and sharing some things that you may not feel comfortable sharing with others.
Oh, isn't that accurate?
Absolutely.
I feel that way about a few people. And I'm not even a therapist. Well, actually, yes, I am sometimes. A lot of times I'm a therapist. What am I talking about? Let me ask you this, Alicia. Have you ever had a client that you weren't comfortable with and you had to say, don't think this is going to be a good fit?
Not really. So
Okay.
I try to screen them before they get in and try to kind of screen out the clients that I'm not going to be able to do my best work with. And that there's really clients that may be in areas I'm not the most competent. So, for example, I'm not going to take on a client that's impacted by an eating disorder. I've learned about it. I know how to do the treatment, but I'm not competent in that area. And so I try to make sure I do a good job of not bringing clients in that I can't get them the help that they need.
Okay.
Oh, wow, absolutely.
So that happens in that consult, early consult.
Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am.
I've got to say thank you because you said something that you really, I haven't heard a lot of people say. An area I know about it, but I don't feel competent. I don't know enough to kind of, gauge, where you are or what have you. That is just, wow. Thank you. Seriously. Thank you so very much. It's okay for us not to know, right?
Absolutely. And I tell my interns and the therapists that I supervise, it's okay to say that you're not competent in something or you're not proficient in something, and that we'll connect you with someone who is. You don't want to be treating someone and it's not your area of expertise.
Absolutely, Alicia. Thank you for that. And I got to ask you this. Can you just kind of dispel or just give us a couple of things where, let's say, life stressors? What are a couple of things that you would say, okay, let's do this, or exercises that you could offer to our audience?
Sure. So definitely I encourage people to journal. I'm a huge journaler, and journaling doesn't mean at night before bed. You can journal whatever time of the day you want. You can write about whatever you want. So journaling is a huge thing. Getting out in nature, just getting a breath of fresh air, getting up from your desk if you have a desk job, that's a huge help. Drinking tons and tons of water, and making sure you're eating and sleeping. Just paying attention to those baseline behaviors, eating, sleeping, doing the things that you're interested in, and then just checking your energy level. And so I think if you question those 4 things or those 4 things seem a little off, then maybe that would be the time to go and seek out services.
So even if, and I thank you for that answer, thank you, even if it's an acute or, well, let me ask it this way. When is it time to get to your Attune app and say, okay, I got to get some help here? Acutely distressed or, of course, chronically, but what's the acute? What's that time frame in something being acute?
So the biggest things, number 1, you're not feeling like yourself. Number 2, you can't engage in the things that you would normally engage in. So you're unable to go to work. You can't get yourself out of bed to go to school. You can't engage in relationships that you usually engage in. That's usually a huge indicator that something is going on.
Oh, wow.
And, of course, if you having thoughts of harming yourself or harming anybody else.
And as far as, okay, I'm not feeling myself today, and it goes again, just say 4 days later, I'm still not feeling myself. Would that be considered acute? You need to get help to kind of get through what you're going through? Or is it a period of maybe a month or a period of 6 weeks? I guess the time frame of when is it time for me to get help?
I think definitely 2 to 4 weeks.
2 to 4. Okay. 2 to 4 weeks. Okay. Very good. Okay. So if someone has lost a loved one and we know the grieving processes, right? And just say for after 90 days or after 120 days or 4 months, you're still in that sunken kind of, I don't really want to be bothered with anyone. Is that a time for us to maybe consider getting some assistance?
Absolutely.
Okay. Good deal. Thank you.
And then, Alicia, we are starting to get questions. This one is coming from Facebook at the Dr. Tongie show. This looks like Sharon out of Philly. She says, Miss Alicia and Dr. Tongie said she's been dating her boyfriend for 2 years, and she says she noticed that he consistently has emotional breakdowns, but they happen randomly out of nowhere, like he's PMSing. She said, I love him so much, but I tried, find myself tiptoeing around the discussion of getting him help because I don't want him to feel like I'm criticizing him. What suggestions do you all have that I can break this down and let him know I just want to help? And where do you suggest I start?
I think definitely starting with letting him know that she cares about him. She's coming from a place of caring, and that she's willing to take the journey with him. Sometimes people really feel like you're pointing the finger at them and something is wrong with them. So maybe taking the approach of like, I care about you, like, I want this to be better for the both of us, and if you want me to take that first step with you, whatever that looks like, I'm willing to do that.
Mm. And it's got to be probably challenging for a man too, because of ego to strength, you know. But
Exactly.
I've been hearing so many. I've heard more men recently, which is so awesome. Say it's okay, you know, to be emotional, to cry, to not know, and that is being strong.
You better believe it.
So
Absolutely. And I would, I definitely agree wholeheartedly what you're saying, Alicia. And you have no idea what it feels like to know that someone is willing to go with you on that journey. You're absolutely, I mean, that was just like spot on. You know this, but that is so important to know that you're not by yourself. Yep. Absolutely. Thank you for that.
And you know what else is a really good question, Alicia? At what point did you know you were getting better in your own journey? That's something I always wanted to know. At what point? Because we see so many, I mean, everybody, you know, working hard day to day, all the way to Hollywood. And I find it remarkable that when people, unfortunately, make decisions, you know, to hurt themselves, be depressed, substance abuse, you know, unfortunately sometimes result is suicide. But I notice that people appear to be okay, smiling, happy, got this. How do you know, or how did you know, just through your experiences, when you were getting better? Or is that something that needs to be checked on once you're clinically diagnosed?
Yeah, I think it's just a combination of both. You'll definitely have indicators to let you know that you're feeling better, but when you sit down with your provider, you guys will come up with a treatment plan, and you'll be able to monitor that process.
Absolutely. I wanted to ask you, Alicia, I know you said with your own journey, this is how you wanted to kind of, I guess, pay back, you know, but why mental health? Of all the fields, you know, why mental health?
That's a good question. I actually started out in school as a nurse, and I didn't even know anything about social workers or about mental health. I was working on a pediatric unit, and I observed a social worker, and I started like talking to her on my breaks, and I was like, man, she has a really cool job. Just this idea of holistically helping and holistically serving people really appealed to me. And then once I learned more about social work and mental health, and I knew that my family had been impacted by it in different ways, I said, man, I think that's the journey for me, for sure.
Absolutely. Well, you are doing some amazing things, and I'm just, you know, I thank you. I am in awe of your courage and your boldness to get out there and say, listen, you know, no more hiding in the shadows. You matter. Your experiences matter. Let's get you where you know you can thrive and live have a good quality of life. And for that, I say thank you, lady. Thank you.
And you're providing the app, because that's where we are today, and just being able to link in, you know, in your own private space with your smartphone to check in, and like you said, to monitor and to interview therapists and finding the right person that fits for you and your lifestyle. That is to be totally commended.
Yes. Thank you. So what's next? What's next for Miss AliciaTetteh?
Honestly, right now, just getting that app out there. I'll be presenting the app at South by Southwest this weekend.
Awesome. Got a lot of artists down there. Look, I'll be sending a lot of artists. Where's your booth going to be? I got a lot of artist clients. They need to see you.
Yeah. Booth 107 in the Health and Wellness Expo.
Okay.
So come and and check us out. We will be there this weekend. So that's the big thing I'm gearing up for right now.
Perfect place to be. It's a lot of excitement, innovation, good creative energy, along with everything else. That is awesome.
Oh, my gosh.
Yep.
So how can we stay in touch socially with you on these platforms? I'm learning my way around this thing, Alicia. I really am. How can we stay in touch?
Our name is the same on every platform. Get a Tune. GETATTUNE. And that's on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, as well as LinkedIn.
Great.
So,
at Get a Tune.
Yep.
Easy enough.
Thank you, Alicia.
Thank you so very much. You have truly, truly been a breath of fresh air to debunk a lot of the mystery, that's around, that plagues, unfortunately, those who may be going through something mentally. As a physician, it's easy to repair a broken bone or use sutures when there's, a tear in the skin. But what you're doing mentally takes it's groundbreaking, and we are grateful for you. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And you're going to do very well at South by Southwest.
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
Wonderful.
I'm super excited. Thank
Absolutely.
you.
We'll be looking out for this app and doing whatever we need to do just to kind of check in and make sure that we're good. I appreciate
would love that.
you. Absolutely.
So we'll definitely stay interactive, and I'll be making sure I get the word out to Alicia. And most importantly for me, I work a lot with young people, and that's where it starts. So that I'll be educating them from that standpoint.
Absolutely. Thank you again,
you
Alicia.
so much.
Have a wonderful day and safe travels as you head off to, is that Austin?
Yep.
Yes.
All right. Thank you
You
again.
too.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
That's cool, and that just makes so much sense. I mean, boom, an app.
Who would have thought?
Now that's where we are now.
Yeah.
And just like I said, just providing an opportunity for people to do that, because a lot of times people are not going to go into a place, but everybody has a smartphone.
Absolutely.
And like I said, I'm excited to introduce it to younger children and teens.
Absolutely.
Because that's where it starts.
Needed. Absolutely. Yeah.
Then we wonder why people are so damaged in adulthood. Right. There you go.
Absolutely. So we are our brother's keepers, are we not?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Because we always here to help on the Dr. Tongie show.
You hear that, right?
Oh, and then, man, in between your talk to Tongie, which I'm telling you, we know what's going to end up happening. We're going to end up having to do a whole red carpet presentation.
You know what?
When that comes, I'm telling you, it's going to be incredible.
That would be a bad
Keep
idea.
your ears and eyes open. I promise you. Okay. It's going to be great.
Now, you heard it from her mouth, right? So.
And then next week,
I know.
oh no, you got a couple
taste
surprises.
of it, right?
You got a taste
Yeah,
of it, but it might even be an instrument in here. That's all I can tell you.
Oh my goodness! Forgive me, guys.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
The Dr. Tongie lounge will be on another level. Yes.
Wow, it is a pleasure being here. You got to know that. So you must, by all means, reach out to us on Facebook at Dr. Tongie Show, Instagram at Dr. Tongie Show, and Twitter at Dr. Tongie Show. We wanted to keep it real simple.
Yep. And if you want to call, 323-203-0815.
Absolutely. So, what do we have going on with How Did I Get Here?
Well, you have Tony from New York. And Tony says that he has been following you from Atlanta to Los Angeles. And I wanted to say, look, well, how much do you know, Tony? Okay. I was like, did he have to disclose that? But that's cool. That lets me know that I think he's originally from Atlanta, and you have a mutual friend. But he says that what he is finding, he's having issues with dating. And he said he's somebody who believes in relationships, romance, marriage. He's divorced of 5 years, and he doesn't want to give up. He said he's had really, really bad luck with the with the apps and the online dating. But he was inquiring about is there anything that he may be doing wrong?
Oh, Tony.
And because he said he seems to be catching a lot of fish, but got to throw a lot of them back in the water.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Tony. First, thank you.
And that's a real question. Look, Tony, I feel your pain.
I'm so sorry.
Maybe we need to meet at happy hour, okay?
Tony, thank you. Thank you so very much for your support. And thank you for trusting me with a question of that magnitude, because it's dealing with, okay, where you are now and you're building to go with your future wife, I'm assuming. So here's what I like to liken as maybe an answer. I too was divorced, and my really good friend now, my first husband and his wife and I are super good friends, and I'm not just kidding. Y'all
hang?
Oh, I love them so very much.
So you're actually, out of all the couples and people I know, you're like the second ones I know who made it happen.
Oh, don't you
Y'all
dare.
are special. I'm just saying, that's
so
incredible.
God, man. We love to love, and we've got this bond where we share a son, and Doris and Terry are really some of the best people that I've ever met, and I love them dearly. But I'm using that analogy to tell you that even after divorce, there's still, there's life. Here's what happened to me. And then you see if you're putting yourself in the right, say, environment. So I'm on my way to pick up cell phones for my sons, and I look to my right, and there's this bald head guy that's at the traffic light, and he's on the phone. Well, I'm about to go into prayer, right? And I tell the lady that I'm about to pray with while I'm sitting at the light, "Excuse me, honey, hold on just a second." And I look to my right, and I say to the gentleman, "Excuse me," after embarrassing my sons, "Excuse me, but you are so handsome." And he says, "Thank you." Long story short, we get married, and we've been married for 13 years with our blended family. I would suggest that make certain that you do a check of yourself. Make sure that your attitude is right for receiving. Make sure that that's what you really want at this time in your life, is to have someone in your life or a companion. And make sure you're bringing to the table an atmosphere of happiness and peace, and it's conducive for your future person that's going to be in your life to be able to feel comfortable and like you. We're always, I love, Tony, but what happened to I like? And it's okay, because if you're like us, we're kind of mandated by Christ to love, but there's nothing that says I have to like you. So when you like someone, you're genuinely interested in that person. You're interested in their well-being and what they're doing throughout the day. Make sure before you add to your equation that you like yourself. You like that time of not having to call up and answer to someone that, "Hey, I'm going here. Do you want to go?" Right now, you probably can go wherever you want to go. But just make sure in this downtime that you're working on yourself and God is working some things out in your life, that you are really comfortable with being where you are with who you're with. And that with is you. I hope I've shed some light on it. Didn't mean to give you a sermon there, but I just want the best for you.
You're going to find your queen. Don't forget to invite us to the wedding, though. Give me a reason to go get a new dress, Tony, okay? And Dr. Tongie will be there.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But thank you so very much again for hitting us up. Remember, we're at Dr. Tongie Show on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
And let me ask you, Dr. Tongie, in the development that we're going into with content, things like that, what other things are you going to want to address between now and the summer? Is there a couple things that you are seeing and hearing that we'll be talking about coming up, or in your studies?
I think some of the things that have been just kind of pressing is I want to go back to school. I've heard that. I mean, countless of times. I've gotten text messages, and how do I? What do I do? I've got day-to-day woes. I've got the light bill. I've got the gas bill. The kids are in daycare, and you're saying this, Tongie, but how do you do it? So we will be addressing a lot of just getting out your own way.
Get out of the way. And balance.
Yeah, balance.
But is there such thing as balance?
Nope,
we like it sounds good.
Yeah,
look, it sounds good.
There's no such thing.
Balance.
No, there's not. I'm so sorry.
So sorry.
Back in the day when I had 3 children, right, that were all under 10, and I'm saying I'm going to go back to school with these lofty ideas, right? What I learned, Jeannie, that if I'm trying to do anything in my own power, it's not going to happen. Yes, I have to make up my mind, but there is a power that lives in you. Some people call it intuition. Some people, whatever. I like to call it the power of God that lives in you, that thrusts you. I dare you. I double dog dare you to say, today I'm going to make up my mind and I'm going to do ellipse. And whatever that is in that space that you're making up your mind to do, you're going to be challenged. And it's okay. It's not giving up. That kind of, gives you that gratification. So I really want to listen to those that are saying, I want to make a change. This is the 3rd month in a new year, and, I'm faced with this and I'm faced with that. So just every day kind of getting out of your way. I want to make certain that you are motivated and you do see the end. I want to kind of go back and show you how to put the end first and then start at the beginning, if that makes any sense. And there are applications that work.
Right.
I'm a living witness. They work.
And it's amazing that you say that because, a lot of films will do that.
Oh, really?
They'll open, at the, conclusion, the climax of Destiny, and they'll take you back. And I find that interesting. And those are usually great films too that do that. So
it's just like the great person that's listening right now.
Absolutely.
It's in you. You've got it. You really, really do. And I'm excited and about to jump out of my seat because I did not know. And I just didn't know that no matter what you're faced with, life really is good.
Oh yeah.
It really is. So that's what I want to assist with the Talk to Tongie.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Just bringing that greatness out of you.
Yep.
Yeah.
So just bring it on. You'll be able to go live. Look, give it to Dr. Tongie. She can handle it all. I want y'all to just go in. Sometimes we're just going to just jump on and have you call a friend or family member and tell them to come on and, just a love session.
Yeah.
That's what it'll be.
I like that.
That's what it'll be.
A love fest.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah. Yeah. Don't get me started.
I know, right?
Because I'll have you with a concert tour.
Oh, God.
I will. I will. The flyer will be on your platform.
Oh, my God. If you have someone in your life that you dare tell a dream to, that you dare tell a vision to, make certain that the qualities are they believe in themselves, they believe in you, they've already done it, so you don't have to try to figure it out with them. You just follow their lead. That's what it's all about. It's a movement of life. If I had to say, what is this? This is to truly, truly, truly get you out of mediocrity, so that you'll be able to say, yeah, I don't necessarily need anyone to pat me on my back and tell me I'm doing a good job. I look in the mirror and I say, you know what, self, you're doing a really good job today. Thank you for showing up. And that's how I start my day. And that's how I'd like for you to start yours too.
I love it.
Absolutely.
Get it going. Get it going.
Yes.
Woo.
So we are really, really excited. We are truly fortunate to have a plethora of wonderful guests, as you said, that will be coming aboard and just kind of sharing their ideas and living by the principles that we're living by now. It's really hard. Sometimes change is hard.
Yeah.
But it's good.
And a lot of times everybody can't go. You might not understand that.
I know, and we'll discuss that.
Yeah,
too.
that can we do a show on that? Look.
Oh my God.
Having my own therapy session. Look, I have y'all. I'm telling you, I'm here for you. I am.
She is the real deal. And seriously, if you have a dream, you have a vision, then let's go. Let's do it together. How about that? You're not by yourself. And I really, really do mean that. You're not alone, no matter what. And with that said, do you have a launch date for Talk to Tongie, Jeannie?
You know what? What I want everybody to do is completely stay interactive, because it's going to be what we're going to do is do a rollout. I'm going to have wherever you are in the world, whatever city. I know we have a lot of support in Atlanta, New York, Washington, D.C., and Los Angeles. But wherever you are, whatever nook and cranny in this country, we will do a countdown. Okay, so I want you to keep your eyes and ears locked on all social media at Dr. Tongie Show, and you will know. But it's coming, but we're going to do a huge countdown.
Wonderful.
Like a whole major 4-day. I might have you rollerblading, Dr. Tongie. With the light up hoverboard or something that'll say 3 days away, 2 days away. Yeah.
I'm laughing. I really am. But you have no idea how my knees are knocking under this desk, because she said it. Seriously. I don't know how she does it, but she gets me to do some of the most fulfilling things.
That's my job.
And
make an impact and continue to, just uplift and support your amazing platform that you have. And I'm also very excited. I think, the Talk to Tongie interactive series is just a part of what's to come. I do know that, we're saying summer, but later this year, I just expect you in a lot of people's living rooms. I do.
Ooh.
I do.
Now she's scaring me, and I don't like to use that term.
Who,
but,
you? Nah. Get out of here, Dr. T.
I am grateful yet the same. Again, at Dr. Tongie Show on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Also, 323-203-0815 if you want to talk with us. I am grateful for each and every one of you. It looks like our time is coming to a close, but before I let you go, whatever you're faced with today, whether it's signing the papers for your first brand new house, or you're getting a brand new car, or God forbid you're getting ready to bury a loved one, or maybe you're at the bedside of a loved one, or maybe you're just tired of being tired, or maybe you're just saying, you know what, enough is enough. I want you to be encouraged. I want you to know that if you just look back over your life, and if you're still here and you're still standing and you're faced with something now, just think about what you went through and where you are today. Tie a knot in that thing called faith. And hold on so tight. And if you get blisters in your fingers and your hands, it's okay. Just don't lose your faith. Because without that, there's absolutely nothing that we can't do. You can't do anything if you don't have your faith. If you have your faith, that's half the battle. And until next time, unless Jeannie has something to say.
No, I'm just ready for next week's show. Next Wednesday. I am amped. That's all I can tell you, because you got two just amazing guests, and just one of them. What kind of tease could I do?
Gosh.
He's making so much impact that I've actually always been right when I say somebody's going to blow. I did it with like Jennings, Neo, John Legend. They were like, "Oh, Neo's name's corny. He's corny." I said, he. Did you see his pen? His songwriting. He makes women feel good. He romances us, things that nobody's doing anymore. Boom. John Legend. Oh, his voice is alternative. He's under Kanye West. Where are they going to fit him in radio? Mm-hmm. I was like, he says what women want to hear. He's a class act. He's going to be just fine. And I mean, I put a stamp. If I stamp you, you on your way. Like Dr. Tongie. You know what I mean? Dr. Tongie stamp. She's got the meow. Yeah, status. But what? Yeah. But you have that coming to the Dr. Tongie Lounge next week.
Thank you.
Yeah, you'll see why.
You guys gotta stay tuned, guys. You gotta join us, please. Come on this journey with us. We're having fun, and we want you to have fun too. And until next time, this is Dr. Tongie and Jeannie. Meow. Have a wonderful day. We'll talk to you soon.